Video, which is called Analyzing Your Facebook Ads Data. Now, this may be one of the most important ones of all the entire course because, I mean, seriously, if you don't know how to track your numbers and how to analyze them, it's basically you're literally gambling with your money. It's like going blindfolded to a casino in Vegas and just, gambling and throwing your money into the trash can, right? So it's very important to know which metrics to analyze, which metrics to consider, and then see exactly how your Facebook ads are performing in order for you to take decisions on whether you're going to start scaling, which campaigns are winners, which campaigns are profitable, and so on and so forth. So it's very, very, very important. Now, here's what you'll learn. I'm going to show you how your customized Facebook ads reporting works. I'm going to show you the key metrics to look at. And I'm gonna go through Facebook ad scenarios and what to do. This I'm very excited about because all of this is gonna be super clear for you. You'll know exactly which numbers to look at, which columns to look at, and then make decisions based on that. And of course, based on the different scenarios I've got prepared for you. And of course, I'm gonna go through what I call the unbreakable window of analysis. Okay, so many people, they do not know how to especially people who are just starting out, like many of you in this business, they don't know when to stop a campaign, when to let it run, when to pause it, not how to pause it, but why to pause it and everything. So I'm going to go through that window of analysis. But most importantly, guys, this business is all about what you're seeing on the screen, data, okay? Don't base your decisions on hunches or or anything like that. Let the numbers tell you the story of what you need to do, and let the metrics. Facebook, they have an amazing reporting reporting system. Let's call it like that, where you can look exactly what's going on with your campaign. So let Facebook and your numbers tell you all about the performance of your campaigns in order for you to make the right decisions. Okay. Now, here's a chart I made because Facebook, when you go to the ads manager, probably you've seen that there's a bunch of options and a bunch of metrics you can use, and of course the default reporting does not have all you need to see. Okay. Now here's a chart of all the metrics I consider to be the most important ones and the ones you need to have in your ads, Facebook Ads Manager on the columns for your reporting. Okay, so I'm gonna go through them and I'm gonna explain in like super briefly what each of them are, so you can have a better understanding and why they are important. Okay, so campaign name, of course, is self-explanatory. It's the name of the campaign. Delivery, it's going to tell you the status of your campaign. If it's active, with the green dot, it's active and improved. Not delivering, it's going to see when you pause the campaign or stop it. You're going to see a gray dot next to it, which is going to say not delivering. And then, of course, you're going to have disapproved or inactive. Probably if you get a campaign disapproved, you're going to have a red dot next to it. Then impressions is how many times your ad is printed or served in all Facebook's placements, news feeds, and audience network and everything. How many times Facebook is printing your ad? Okay, pretty self-explanatory. And of course, reach. Reach is the actual people that see your ad. Okay, impressions, how many times printed. Reach is actual people seeing your ads. Okay, website purchases, you want to have that metric. It's very important to have that because once you have your pixel placed either on ClickBank directly or in the vendor's thank you page, Facebook is going to track how many purchases are you doing. Okay, so it's very important to track your purchases. Then we have website purchases value, how much you've made in terms of money in US dollars. It can be on your own country's currency, but I strongly suggest you do it on US dollars because most of the offers on ClickBank and most of affiliate networks, they price their offers in US dollars. So I recommend US dollars. And the cool thing about ClickBank and Facebook is that recently ClickBank is fully integrated with Facebook Okay, now if you place your pixels on the thank you page and the checkout page in on ClickBank, you're gonna see that in this column, this specific column, website purchases value, Facebook considers not only the value of the front end offer, but also on the upsells, and that's pretty cool because a few months ago, I mean, well, years ago, you can only see the amount of front end offers, but it didn't track the whole purchase throughout the whole funnel, the back ends and the upsells and everything. In this case, you're going to be able to see it. Okay. Now, next one is return on ad spend, purchase what we call ROAS. It's measured. I'm going to go through that number later on, but basically measures how much are you making compared to how much did you spend. Okay. How much did you make minus how much did you spend on ads. Amount spent, pretty self-explanatory. How much you've spent so far in any specific campaign, the budget, how much do you spend per campaign every single day. Frequency is how many times the each ad it's shown to a unique visitor or user. Okay, now this is a very, very, very important metric because you want to prevent ad fatigue as much as possible. Okay, the higher the frequency, the more times a user is seeing your ad, and the higher the frequency, the less engagement and your ROI is going to drop down. There's going to be more ad fatigue and so forth. So frequency, let's say if there's frequency of 1, that is ideal, meaning that a unique visitor is seeing your ad 1 time per day, which is fine. If you have 1.20, well, that means that that visitor is it's seeing your ad 20% more each day. Okay, not only 1 time, but 20% more, 1.20. Okay, so the higher, if you go to 2 to 3, I mean, the more you go up, the more people are seeing your ad. I may see that 2 to 3, it's already high, and that is the point where you need to repurpose your ad. Come up with new creatives, new images, new copy, new angles, and so forth. Okay, we're gonna keep it low. Now, the next 3, clicks all, CTR all, and CPC all, are more about engagement with your ads. Okay, so clicks all are how many people have made click on anywhere in your ad. They've liked your ad, they've commented on your ad, they've tagged someone, they've clicked on the see more link to read the whole copy and everything. So it's every single click that anyone performs in your ad. So you can see your engagement in there. The higher, of course, the better, the more engagement. Of course, the more clicks, the higher the click-through rate. The click-through rate, the CTR, okay, is how much people, that metric measures how many times, well, when someone sees your ad, they actually click on it. Okay, again, if they see your ad and the click-through rate, the higher the clicks, the higher the click-through rate as well. And your cost per click all, again, how much are you spending per click based on all this clicks on the ad, right? On the like, on the link, on the see more link, and so on and so forth. Then we have link clicks and click through rate link click. That is the one we are really interested in. Whereas clicks all, CTR all, CPC all is all about engagement. While link clicks and CTR are the clicks that are made or that people click on your actual destination URL, meaning the URL to take people to your landing page. Okay, those are link clicks. Click-through rate, again, is how many people that see your ad actually click on the destination URL. Okay, cost per link click, again, how much you are paying per click in the call to action link, okay, on the destination URL link. Cost per CPM, M stands for 1,000, which is the Roman number for 1,000, and is the cost per 1,000 impressions. Facebook is always going to charge you per impressions, and this metric is very, 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 very important because the higher the CPM, the cost per 1,000 impressions, means that there's the more competition there is for certain audiences or certain niches. Okay, sometimes, like for example, weight loss, it has a higher CPM than for example DIY, okay, or woodworking, or home improvement, or whatever the niche it is, or pets, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's a cost per 1,000 impressions. Then we have leads. Okay, now I know we're not doing email marketing whatsoever, but it's important that you have your standard event on your landing page, that when someone clicks on the call to action button on your landing page, that's considered a lead. Okay, and you're gonna have your cost per lead as well. I'm gonna go on more over those metrics. You have your cost per lead. How much does it cost you to generate that lead? I mean, someone who clicks on your call to action button on the landing page. Then we have the next three metrics, which I really suggest you, well, to me, I prefer these three instead of link clicks, or CTR, link click, and CPC, cost per link click, which are called outbound clicks, click the rate, and outbound clicks CPC. Okay. So outbound, whereas link clicks and CTR link click, it may be destination URL. Well, there are ads that, you probably take people inside Facebook. You probably take people to another fan page, or you probably take people somewhere inside Facebook. Okay. So, but also outside. So link clicks and link click through rate, it measures both clicks on the destination URL, both inside and outside Facebook. Now, outbound clicks, it's only the clicks that go outside Facebook. In this case, that's what we want, because you're taking people to the landing page. Make sense? That's why outbound clicks is more accurate, but you can have both. Okay. So I would suggest, as a suggestion, I would tell you, watch closely outbound clicks, and of course, outbound clicks, click the rate, and CPC. Again, outbound clicks are the clicks that are people, clicking on the URL that takes to the landing page. Okay, it's the exact number of clicks. Click the rate, again, how many people see your ad and click on the destination URL to your landing page, and the cost per outbound click, self-explanatory too. Landing page views, how many people that click on your destination URL actually land and sees and views your landing page. Very important. And of course, the checkouts initiated is another very important metric to see if your offer, the offer that you choose, actually people are watching the VSL, and of course they make it all the way to the checkout page, meaning that they are very interested in the offer. That's very important. Okay, we need to have checkouts initiated. We need to have purchase intent. Okay, now this is the way you're gonna customize your Facebook ads reporting. You need to click. You need to go to your ads manager. Of course, you need to click on the columns tab. Okay, then you're gonna select first performance and clicks, which is they have when you select that option, there's all of the metrics I show you in this table. They're already there, pre-populated. So click on that first, then click outside, then click again the columns tab again, and then you're gonna select where the red arrow is, your customize columns, where you see it. Okay. Then of course you're gonna see in that pop-up window it's gonna come out, and then on the right hand side you're gonna see all the metrics you already have, and then you're gonna pre-populate and choose the ones that are missing. Okay, based on the table I gave you previously. Okay, now note, this is very, very important. Once you have all your metrics on the right hand side, you got to make sure to save it as preset. Okay, and set it as default. Otherwise, like for example, you see in there, which is highlighted in blue, it's called Saul Stats, my name and stats. I name it like that. I like it. I know it's my number, or those are my columns. So every single time I return to this account, specific accounts, you guys are going to have different accounts for different offers you're going to promote. You're going to have your name and stats. I suggest you put your name, Bill, stats, Monica, stats, Roger stats, yada yada. You get the point, and you don't have to do it all over again. Customize it if you don't save them as preset. That's why it's very important. Okay, now let me go to Facebook. Okay, and I'll show you. Okay, there's a dummy account. As you can see, here's the ads manager. Okay, now as here in columns, you're gonna see that it's set up as default performance. When I click on it, as I told you, first you're gonna no, that's okay. You're gonna go to click on first performance and clicks. Okay, and then there you see there's a lot of pre-populated, the CPM, link click, CPC, CTR, click sol, CTR all, yada yada, cost per sol, and all that good stuff. Okay, then again you click here in columns and you're gonna go to customize columns. Okay, now on the right hand side, here's where you see all the columns selected, the ones you already have. Okay, now we're gonna go to the left to add the ones that we're missing. So you're gonna first click on here on the left hand side where it says clicks. Okay, you're gonna select outbound clicks. Remember, I already explained you why outbound clicks are the most important ones, more than link click-through rate, because this measure only the clicks that go outside Facebook, aka your website. Okay, we're gonna do also outbound click-through rate, and we're gonna do outbound, and we're gonna do here cost per outbound click. Okay, that's it. And as you can see, they are already added here. Outbound clicks, outbound click-through rate, cost per outbound click. Then we're gonna go to conversions, standard events. Okay, and we're gonna do checkouts initiated. Okay, we're gonna do landing page views. We're gonna do leads. We're gonna check here cost per lead. Okay, then we're gonna go all the way down and we're gonna do purchases total, and we're gonna do cost per purchase, and of course return on ad spend, which I've already covered. Okay guys, this is very, very, very important. That's it. As you can see, by the way, you want once they're added here, you want to uncheck all of these boxes. Okay, so you just have the metric we are interested in, which is checkouts initiated, leads. Okay, you're gonna check also this boxes, and you're all set. Okay, all your columns on here are here. You're gonna go, and here on the left hand side you see it says save as preset. You're gonna check on it, then you're gonna name it. Okay, in this case I'm just gonna call it Saul Stats. You're gonna put your name in there, Shelly Stats, whatever it is, and then you're going to hit apply. Okay, let's wait for Facebook. Sometimes it takes forever. This is the problem with making it live. Okay, I'm just gonna refresh it to see if it is responding. Okay. No, it didn't. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna do it once again. Okay, I'm gonna do it really, 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 really fast. So again, so remember, I'm just gonna go with, you already have pre-populated. I'm just gonna add outbound clicks. Okay, outbound click-through rate, cost per outbound click. Then I'm gonna go to a standard events, checkouts initiated. I'm gonna do leads. I'm gonna do cost per lead, landing page views. Okay, and then I'm gonna do purchases, how many purchases, the total, and then cost per purchase, and return on ad spend. Okay, and I'm gonna go to the right, and I'm gonna take off these boxes, all of them. Okay, all of them here, and then finally here, and then again save as preset your name. I'm gonna call it Saul stats, and then I'm gonna hit apply. Okay, there you go. As you can see, is you have it. It's already selected. Now, in some accounts, you're gonna see there's another option here. It's called set as default. If you have it, I mean, first select your name, like Monica Stats, and then go back here and click on save as default, okay, or set up as default. If you don't have it, don't worry, that's fine. Just like me, once you select it, Facebook already considered to be that customization as default, okay? Now, many times when you go to Business Manager or change accounts or whatever, many times this when you come back to this account is set up in another one, like any of this, like performance or whatever. Don't freak out, just go here and then select again your columns, and as you can see, all of them are in here, okay? Outbound clicks, leads, checkouts, everything, okay? Now let me go back to the presentation. Okay. Now, let's talk about the key metrics to look at, okay? These are called KPIs, or key performance indicators, okay? That's what KPI stands for. So the most, metric number one is gonna be your cost per purchase, okay? How much is costing you to generate a front-end buyer, a front-end customer, okay? Now, it's ideally, you're gonna aim for half average order value. Why? Because it means it's 100% ROI on the front end, okay? In a perfect world, that would mean that you're making 100% ROI on the front end, which is doable, not always the case, but ideally we want to aim for that, okay? Now, I want to make really clear, do not expect don't think you're gonna become rich with only front end purchases, okay? Sales. Why? Because a front end sale is what we call a self-liquidating offer, okay? As its name suggests, it's gonna help you. The money you make on the front end is gonna help you to liquidate your ad costs, okay? How much you paid for traffic. Okay, now ideally, of course, if you're in a perfect world like I'm suggesting here, which is totally doable, if you have the right copy, the right angles, I've already covered in another module, well, it's very likely that you can aim for 100% ROI. But don't worry, if you do 50% ROI on the front, that's still good. As long as you're positive ROI on the front end, it's a good sign. You can even have a negative ROI on the front end, but only, and I want to be very clear, only if you have a very solid back end, meaning that the front end, that the back end and the upsell take is really high and it's paying you high commissions, which really can cover that apparent front end loss, but you still are profitable on the back end, okay? But ideally, you want to aim for 100% ROI on the front end. Now you see that there's how do you get the average order value? Well, you're seeing there right on the screen. That's an offer. You know, I promoted Backdoor Miracle Farm, which is in the survival niche, and it pays, well, not it pays. The average order value, it's in Spanish, promedio venta, it's average order value, it's $40, meaning that's the average of people taking the front end and the upsells, okay? So it's $40. So you want, and based on the example of my suggestion, you want to aim for half of that. Your cost per purchase needs to be $20, okay? If you think about it, if the average order value is $40, you're getting $40 per customer on average, and you're only spending $20, well, that means you spend $20, you make $40, well, you make $20 in profit, you're at 100% ROI, okay? This is very important. Now, here's a hint. Your average order value will most likely be higher over time. And let me explain why. That number you're seeing in there, most of the ClickBank vendors, they have relationships and they do joint ventures with other people who have lists in this space, for example, in the survival niche in this space. A huge list of people that may be interested. So most of the traffic comes from email promotions and so forth. Okay, so the conversion rate may not be that high, and the quality of the lead may also not be not that good. Now, why am I suggesting your AOV will likely be higher over time? Because Facebook, remember, is the most powerful platform to get your ideal customer or your ideal avatar based on the targeting you can do there. Okay, you can be very, very precise with lookalike audiences, with interest-based targeting. You can find your ideal avatar. Thus, they're going to be more interested in this kind of offers. Thus, they're going to take the upsell, not only the front-end offer, but it's very likely that if you position yourself, your ad, the way I've taught you in Module 2, and you close the sale right from the beginning, it's very likely that the upsell take is going to be higher. So your average order value may not be 40, maybe 50. And if that's the case, for example, that means you can actually spend more to get a customer. You won't spend only $20, but you can spend $25. Make sense? So the better the quality, the more qualified the lead, the more you can close the sale on your end before they even watch the VSL, the higher average order value will be, the more you will be able to spend on traffic, which is what we want at the end of the day. Okay, that is very, 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 very important. Now, keep measuring, and the way you do it is you're gonna go to on ClickBank. You just take your net sales, the it's the number of sales, initial sales and upsells, minus chargebacks, minus refunds. That's net sales in dollars, divided by the number of initial sales. Okay, so here's an example. This has nothing to do with that offer. I'm just putting a random example just to get the example clear. Let's say you've made in a period of 10 days $4,375. Okay. And you see on your reports that you've made you've made 75 front-end sales or initial sales. Okay, you would divide 4,375 divided by 75. That means your average order value is 58. Okay, now so your CPA, if we would ideally aim for 100% ROI, then your CPA should be $29, meaning you could spend up to $29 to get a front-end customer, okay, and be at 100% ROI. Now remember what I told you in the beginning. This is in an ideal world, but it's totally doable. If you follow what we're teaching you in terms of positioning, angles, copy, and really persuasion and influencing a buying decision with your copy, it's very likely you can get to these numbers and be profitable at 100% ROI right there out of the gate on the front end. Okay, but do not, and again I repeat, do not worry if you got higher. Let's say this is $29. Let's say you go $39 or $40. Well, that's fine. You're still positive ROI. Probably that's 80% ROI, 70%. You're still positive, okay? Even if you are breaking even on the front end, that's good. But again, I would actually encourage you to aim for this, because that's gonna mean more profit for you, more cash flow available for you to reinvest in your business, put more money back for traffic, and then grow and get to the amount of money you want to make per day in record speed. Okay, so cost per purchase, very important one. Now, metric number 2, your link click-through rate or outbound click-through rate. I already talked about. Outbound click-through rate measures the percentages of time users saw an ad and performed an outbound click. Remember, an outbound click is the number of clicks on your link that take people off of Facebook in this case, your lender. Okay, remember, click-through rate can also consider links that go inside Facebook. Outbound click-through rate only, it's going to consider those that take people to your lender. Okay, so aim for at the very least 2 to 3%. Okay, but you're gonna go above that. Okay, the higher your outbound clicks, the more clicks you get, the higher your click-through rate. Okay, and the lower your CPM will be. Okay, so aim for at least 2 to 3% click-through rate on your ad. Now, this is very important. Aim for less than $2 outbound cost per click. Okay, I'm gonna explain a little bit later what you may consider a good cost per click. Okay, based on the countries you're gonna advertise on, but at least you know that pay or always aim for $2, less than that. You know, in tier 1 countries such as the US, you're gonna go for, and if it's a competitive market, probably it may go up to $1 to $1.50, which is absolutely fine as long as your ROI, okay, positive. If you're doing 80% ROI, 90%, 100, 200, that's absolutely fine. But this is just to give you an idea of the numbers you have to be looking at. Okay, now metric number 3, your lender click-through rate. Ideally, you want to aim for at least 50%. And that is people, let's say you, out of 100 people that clicked on your ad, at least 50 of them are going to click through and watch a VSL. Your lender, they're going to click on the call to action button on your lender, and then they're going to land on the VSL to watch the VSL. Okay, bare minimum, guys. You need to aim for 30%. Less than 30%, it's very, very likely you're not even gonna break even, okay? The higher, the better. And this is all done, again, with engagement, with persuasion, reliability, rapport with people, and painting the perfect story in their minds, okay? So 50% ideally, lender click-through rate. Now, how do you calculate your click-through rate? Well, it's very simple. You go to Facebook, and that's in your columns. You go to your ads manager based on the columns we already selected. You're going to go to the columns of leads, and you're going to take that number of leads, which is going to be the same. If you go to your dashboard on ClickBank, it's the same as hops. They are named hops in ClickBank. Okay, leads on Facebook, hops in ClickBank. You take that number and you divide it by your link clicks or your outbound clicks. Again, I would suggest you go with outbound clicks. Okay, those are the accurate numbers of people that landed on your page, okay? So you take your number of leads or hops in ClickBank and divide it by the outbound clicks, and then you multiply by 100%, and that is gonna give you the percentage of your lender click-through rate. Again, ideally aim for 50%, bare minimum 30%, bare minimum, okay? Let me go back. Yes, so that last point, if your lender CTR is less than 30%, then go back, tweak, and test again, okay? And I may say, as a suggestion, test one thing at a time. Don't go and make the mistake of changing the whole lender. Start with the most important parts, which are the headline, the image, or the call to action button, or the call to action button, but start with one first. If you think you're going to start with the headline, start with the headline and test it and see what happens. If you're still getting 30% or less than 30%, then continue with your image. Then continue with your call to action button. And then, because that's the only way you're going to see which is the trigger that it's going to increase, that it's increasing your actual percentage of click-through rate, okay? So test one thing at a time. Now, metric number 4, landing page views, okay? Now, here you want to aim for at least 90% versus link clicks or outbound clicks, okay? Okay, so let's say you have 100 outbound clicks or link clicks. Your landing page views should be at least 90 people out of those 100. Less than that, if let's say 100 people clicked on your ad and only 50 are landing or even seeing your page, we have a problem there, guys. Probably your loading times are super slow, and people remember at the most it needs to load 3 seconds. More than 3 seconds, it's a lot of time, and people are desperate. Remember what we talk about attention span. We only, as human beings, have 8 seconds. Okay. Now, in loading times, if you go above 3 seconds, they're gonna leave. They're gonna just shut down the window. So make sure you have a proper less than. I would aim for less than a second loading time, both on mobile and desktop. Okay. Or it can also be that it's loading in a proper timing, 1 second or whatever. But the problem is in the layout of your landing page. It may have amazing copy that it's converting whatever, but the layout looks so amateur. Okay, it has happened to me in the past. So make sure you have a nice looking professional landing page that gives confidence to people. And you aim for this, okay, at least 90%. Okay, many times you're going to see that out of 100 clicks, you're going to have like 95 people landing on your page. Okay. Metric number 5, cost per lead. This is what I go back to the cost per lead. Okay. Now here, since we are not collecting lead, that's why I refer to cost per click. Because we're not even collecting the lead. So cost per, remember when they click on your ad and then whoever is going to click on your landing page, well, you're not going to pay for that additional click. You only pay for the click on your ad. And since you're not collecting an email address, well, that's going to be kind of the same, right? You click on your ad and the click on your landing page. In tier 1 countries, meaning the US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, you want to go for less than $1.50 or $2. Okay, your cost per click and your cost per lead. Okay, now this again in niches like digital marketing or weight loss or many times personal development as well. Those relationships, those are very highly competitive markets because they're pretty responsive in those countries. They convert very, very well. Still, you can get, with the right angle, you can get clicks or leads for less than $1. I've done it lots of times. So aim for that. And then worldwide, if you go with a campaign worldwide, the rest of the world, well, yeah, you're going to have pretty cheap traffic, aim for less than 25 cents or 50 cents a pop lead. Okay. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, checkouts initiated. A good number is aim for 20% is high. I mean, it's realistic, it's high, and I would suggest you aim for that. Meaning that that the offer it's the VSL is it's converting well. People are seeing, are engaging. And people are initiating checkout. So meaning, let's say you have 100 leads or hops from your lender to the VSL. Well, at least 20 of those 100, they initiate checkout. Okay, that's another sign, and that is a very, very good offer. Okay, don't worry if it's less. I mean, if it's 15, 14, 13, 10, that's still fine. As long as the to give you an idea, the average conversion rate on regardless of the niche of from people who initiate checkout and actually make the purchase, it's only 1%, meaning only 1 people out of 100 take action and convert and actually become customers. Well, with this offers we're promoting in ClickBank, many times if you know how to choose the right offer, you're going to have a very, very high conversion rate, 9%, 10%, 11%. So if your checkouts initiated are, 11%, 12%, and your conversion rate, like actually people who initiated checkout, if it's 12% and you got a 10% conversion rate, like out of those 12% that initiated checkout, 10% actually purchased, well, that is very good. Okay. So this is just to give you some numbers. Okay. So you can have your benchmarks. And your metric number 7 is your return on ad spend. Remember your ROAS. That number is gonna start at 1.00. 1.00 means you're breaking even. Okay, means you're gonna see it there in your Facebook Ads Manager in one of the columns, And 1.00, you're gonna see if it's in 1.0, that means that if you go to the amount spent, let's say you have spent $100, you're gonna see $100 there, and under your website purchase value, you're gonna see $100 as well. And your ROAS is gonna be 1.0, meaning you are breaking even, okay? If that number, ROAS, is, for example, 1.20, that means you're making 20% ROI positive, okay? If on the other hand, if you have 0.80, well, that means you're minus 20% ROI. And of course, if you're at 2.0, as you see in the screen, that means you're at a 100% ROI, meaning that in the amount spent column, probably you're seeing you've spent $100, but in the in the website purchase value, you're gonna see $200, meaning you've spent 100, you made 200. That means that you're at 100. You made $100 profit, so that means 100% ROI. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. So those are the key metrics, key performance indicators you want to look at and look closely. Now, let me go to the Facebook ad scenarios and what to do in each scenarios, okay? Now, the first one I have here is Facebook ad scenario number 1. Let's say you have a low cost per outbound click and lead, okay, which is at $1.50 or less. Your click-through rate on your ad, on your link, your outbound click-through rate is above 3%, which is ideal. The higher the better, which, by the way, in this market, you can go all the way to 4, 5, 6, 7. Really doable with a good image and a good angle. But at least you want to aim for 2 to 3%. So if it's above that, cool. And then, of course, your lender click-through rate above 50%. And then you also have checkouts initiated and purchases. If you have both, checkouts initiated and purchases, then what to do? Well, you're reading in there. Congratulations, you got yourself a good high converting funnel. Both the ad, the lender, and of course the offer. That'll be the ideal scenario, and this is the scenario you want to aim for moving forward in the future, right? Now, but of course, it's very unlikely, it's very rare that someone, just place their first ad, the first lander, the first everything, and they hit this kind of numbers, right? But it's totally doable. Not the first time, but then on your second attempt, once you tweak, based on the following scenarios, then you're gonna see what's working. Many times that's why I like to put the scenarios, because people do not know what to do and how to read the data and what actions to take. Here's scenario number 2. Let's say your cost per link click or your outbound click or lead is it's good, okay? It's low. It's $1.50 or less, okay? The click-through rate still is above 3%, very good. Your lender is above 50%, okay? Meaning everything on your site, your ad and your lender is right on spot. But you see you have very or none checkouts initiated, let alone purchases. No purchases, no checkouts initiated. Then that means you have to change up your offer. That means the offer is not converting, okay? Because if you're hitting your numbers on your ad and your lender, well, that means that your message is right on spot. People are engaging with your ad. You're building massive rapport and relatability with them, empathy. Who knows? Maybe you've already closed them if you follow my advice and module on copywriting and everything. But if see checkouts and purchases, well, it's time to change up the offer. Okay, it doesn't have to be. Don't freak out. I mean, there's a bunch of offers. Let's say you have personal development and in law of attraction is the product. Well, just go and look for another high converting law of attraction product, okay? Or what appears to be a law of attraction product, high converting, and just change the offer, but keep the same funnel. Of course, change the name of the offer, whatever, just adapt it to the new offer. That's scenario number 2, okay? Now let's move on. For scenario number 3, let's say your ad, again, you have a loss cost per click, of 150 or less. We're assuming here you're advertising to the US, right? We said that a cost per click, it's 150 to $2, less than that. We're going to aim for that for tier 1 countries, I guess the US. And also your click-through rate is above 3%, but then you see that your cost per lead goes to $4, okay, which is kind of high. And then you see that your lender is below 30%, okay? If that's the case, and of course, if you still, with those numbers, you still have purchases and checkouts initiated, well, the problem, as you can see, is on your lender. So you have to go and optimize your lender to increase your click-through rate on it, and of course, to lower the lead cost, okay? Because otherwise, even if you, have an initial ad spend of it's low, I mean, but only very, very few people click through to the VSL, well, and very few people, a lot of them, just a handful of them buy the offer. While maybe at the best case you're probably gonna break even, but most likely you're gonna be on a negative ROI. Okay, so as you can see, your ad is okay, it's working fine, but then you have to go back to Blackboard, optimize your lender. And remember, one thing at a time, optimize one thing at a time to increase the click-through rate and lower the cost. Don't touch the offer, don't touch the ad, okay? Scenario number 4, let's say you have a high, this time you have a high link or outbound click, okay, cost per outbound click, which is higher than $2. That's expensive for a click, okay? Let's say your click-through rate is below 2%, which is very low as well. And let's say your cost per lead, on the other hand, is right on spot, is 150 or less. And let's say that your lender is at 50% or above, okay? And again, you're having checkouts and you're having purchases, okay? You're making them, you're converting. Well, what to do? Now, the problem, as you can see, is not in your lender. Your lender is converting, okay? You're getting leads for cheap. You're getting a high click-through rate. You're converting those people who actually land on the VSL, watch it, and initiate a checkout, and ultimately they purchase. But you're getting a high cost of traffic, advertising, okay? What actions to take? Well, you have to go back, don't touch the lender, don't touch the offer, and you have to start optimizing your ad to increase the outbound click-through rate and, of course, to lower the cost per click, okay? Change the image, try a new angle, and all of that good stuff, okay, to do this. Moving on, scenario number 5. Let's say, well, you have a high cost per click, about $2. You have a very low click-through rate, below 2%, and at the same time, you have a high cost per lead, about $4, for example, here, and then you have a very low click-through rate, below 30%. But even with that, with kind of a, weak funnel, you're still, people are initiating checkout and they are also purchasing, okay? Even with kind of a weak funnel. Well, what to do? You do not touch the offer converts, okay? You go back to the Blackboard and tweak the whole funnel, both the ad and the lender as well, okay? To aim for those numbers we've discussed before, okay? And of course, this is the worst scenario ever. Number 6, high cost per click or outbound click, about $2. Low, your click-through rate on your ad below 2%, high cost per lead below $4, below, your lender click-through rate below 30%, and the offer, you're not getting no checkouts initiative, no purchases, even with the little amount of leads you took to the VSL, to watch the VSL, nothing is working. Well, bad news, you have to start all over again. You have to choose a new offer, go back to the Blackboard, you have to tweak your funnel, and you have to change the offer. Okay, guys? So that's why it's so important that you make your research first. Okay, that you know that you're choosing a good offer in a market that's really demanded. That there's a lot of people in that market, that niche, and of course that offers are converting. Okay, so finally, I have here what I call the unbreakable window of analysis. Okay, now of course this is pretty clear. The higher your budget, the quicker you'll make decisions because you'll get data faster. Okay, now look at your data in these windows. Let's say you run it for 24 hours. Okay, if after 24 hours you don't have any conclusion because the numbers are not quite clear and you don't know if you have to run or pause, then let it run for another 48 for 48 hours. Okay, if by the end of 48 hours you still don't have conclusions to run or pause, then let it run for 72 hours. Okay, now here at this point, 72 hours, you need to make your final decision. Okay, by this point I mean, it's 100% guaranteed that you are going to have the necessary data based on the numbers I already went through and I explained to you before in this video. You're going to be able to make a decision. Okay, so there you go, guys. This is how you analyze your data. I hope it's clear. I think there's a lot of value. Go back again to this video, watch it. Study the metrics. This has to be like religiously your benchmarks to make decisions on when to pause, when to run your ads, how to analyze your numbers, when to tweak, how to tweak, and all that good stuff. And of course, arrange your columns based on all the metrics I just explained to you. Okay, this is how you manage a business. Okay, this is how you advertise on Facebook and how you interpret and you analyze your data on Facebook. Okay, so go ahead, watch this video again, and of course, as a homework is by this point you should be running ads. Go ahead, arrange your columns, and start taking out your numbers, analyzing your numbers, and of course take the necessary action based on the scenarios I just went through, and of course so you can go so you get into a profit as soon as possible and have winner campaigns running very fast. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Talk soon.